I'm like, oh, I had the craziest dream. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode with the Big Dane on the Big Dane podcast. How was your weekend? Does everyone have their power back? First off, we had quite the storm last week and it was pretty scary. We were lucky and we still held our power. Although I was pretty frightened waking up in the morning and trying to go to LabCorp. Yeah, I almost canceled because it was literally telling me on the news, like David Murphy, he's saying, yo, West Country, Conshohocken Station, tornado warning. A warning, people. So, but I had left just in time because they had just changed it over to a tornado watch. But I was still a little bit nervous driving. So anyway, I hope everyone's safe and everyone's back, to a good, comfortable setting and, don't have to maybe call a plumber or a roofer or anything like that and everything's good. So I have like one small update on my walk. So I was walking over towards, let's see here, kind of near like North Lane, like one of the little neighborhoods off there, just to change it up. And so this was literally after the storm. And with all these chickens that I tell you guys about around here that they just keep popping up, like what? So I'm walking closer. I'm like, this can't be a chicken. But it's like kind of, walking around and kind of like, moving their head, you know what I'm saying? Like that nod. Yeah. And I'm like, wait a second. Is this a turkey vulture? And then I thought, no, because a turkey vulture is like ginormous. And this was not as large, but it was definitely some sort of vulture. So I got close enough to take a couple pics. So I'll share that with you guys on my coffee account so you guys can check it out. And then I turned around because I was too nervous to pass it. I don't want it to just start following me or trying to attack me. I know with obviously I'm alive, I'm living, I'm not a dead thing, but hey, you never know. But that would have been quite a story to tell if I did get attacked, but all good here. So guys, today I'm gonna talk about dreams. Yeah. So, and now when I say dreams, I'm not saying oh, I wish I had $1 million house. No, no, no. This is, when you go to sleep and you start making these weird images in your brain and then you wake up and I'm like, what the hell was that? Because some of them are just so strange. So some of this information I'm going to tell you, I grabbed content off of Cleveland Clinic, which is actually funny because I represent Cleveland Clinic Journal of Medicine for my actual work. So it was kind of random when I saw the article. So I was like, oh, cool, Cleveland Clinic, look at that. And then I also got information off WebMD. So just some quick fun facts. And I had to dig through my some random papers and notebooks and things, and because I kept a dream journal. I would say, gosh, looking at this is like 10 years ago, and I'm mad at myself that I didn't write more. I just kind of fell off. Although I do have a recent one, and I think this is just like stress and anxiety from COVID. So you'll hear all about it, and I'm just going to take a second to pause here and just remind you guys to listen. And for that quick link, you're going to go to the bigdanepodcast.com/podcast to have a little listen. And you can choose your platform right there: Spotify, Google Podcasts, and iTunes, Apple Podcasts for you. And I really would love to hear your feedback. So if you want to go to ratethispodcast.com/the Big Dane podcast. Yeah. If you have any questions or you just feel like reaching out to me, you're going to go back to my website, right? And then just go to contact. So thebigdanepodcast.com/contact. So here we go. So I'm going to kick it off, and I'm getting really right into the REM sleep. I think all of us know what the REM sleep is. That is the rapid eye movement, of course, taking place, right, when we are asleep, and now we're starting to dream a little bit, right? And it just gets so interesting when that happens. And it really feels like for hours and hours, like it really feels like all night you're dreaming, but you're not, you're only dreaming periodically, and probably roughly around 30 minutes. So, and what I was reading from here is that that's when the brain is most active. So I don't know if that was apparent for everyone or not, but it's just interesting. Like, wow, like when you really think about it, it's like, okay, I'm resting. I need to heal my body. I need to recover and recuperate for the next day, so I'm all fresh. But meanwhile, like, everything in your brain, it is still like having a party. They're popping champagne in there, you know what I'm saying? And the experts, they believe that the brain stem generates the REM sleep and the forebrain generates dreams. So why, do you ask? Because if the brain stem is injured, right, patients dream but don't go into REM sleep. And if the forebrain is injured, patients go into REM sleep but don't dream. So, interesting. Yeah. But yeah, and we can dream up to 4 to 6 times a night. And I feel like, kind of makes sense. I don't know if you've had a dream where it's like, it seems like for a while I'm in a cave and I'm digging a hole and then I find a dead body. And then it jumps into like, oh, now I'm at like a friend's house and we're having a party. Just like from one thing to another. And sometimes I feel like it's easy to, definitely divide it up and realize like, oh, like it was this, but then it changed to this. So like, obviously in that case, you're just having several different dreams. But then other times it's like, it's all the same, which is interesting. I wonder what they have to say about that. Like, why is it like focused on one thing? Is it just like, just the brain chemicals kind of, reacting. And they did mention here that it may have to do with neurotransmitters or brain chemicals, and some are more prominent than others because the other kinds and other chemicals are suppressed during REM. And dopamine, for example, they may help give dreams that surreal quality. So it's kind of interesting to like really break it down. But lucid dreams, so this is when you're dreaming, right? So like, I'm sure many of us can say like, you feel it. It's like, you're dreaming, but like how do you get out of it, right? Sometimes it's kind of like eerie. And research shows that it comes with a boost of activity in parts of the brain that are usually restful during sleep. And it's a state between REM sleep and being awake. So how crazy is that? It's like, all right, I'm asleep, but then I'm awake. Like, how it's so interesting. Like, how does the body and the brain do that? But I'm laughing at when they were mentioning it comes with a boost of activity in parts of the brain. Like, what are they doing? Are they throwing a kegger up there? Like, yo, come on in. Like, Harry, and, throwing keg stands and just craziness. um, but I think it also is odd when maybe people either don't dream or can't dream. And what I was reading here is that they found those people that aren't able to dream have anxiety, depression, weight gain, lack of coordination. What does that have to do with it? Lack of coordination? Come on, I mean, my mom has a lack of coordination. Like, I did not get my athletic gene from her, and she's gonna be like, Dana, and like just laugh about it. But yeah, isn't that strange? Or maybe it's not strange, but I think it's odd to just kind of see that called out, don't you think? Um, and as far as the meaning, and there's so many different thoughts and theories behind this, like, oh, so you had a dream and you were naked. Oh, you're just so vulnerable, or like something crazy. But it really stemmed from Freud when he introduced those dream interpretations. Because like some of the dreams that you have are like awesome and they're pleasant and happy, but then you have these like, and it could be like a legit nightmare and it's like crazy. And in that case, a lot of it kind of points to those people with PTSD. They're having nightmares. They're not having happy dreams with sunflowers and unicorns and rainbows. But then who is really having those dreams? maybe a teddy bear. But yeah, so I mean, there's books on it, but at the end of the day, what I was reading here is that there just honestly isn't enough data and research to back specific things up. They can kind of guide you, I guess, into what it could mean. But I feel like they would have to really know a lot about your life to really maybe determine that of like what's going on. Because I feel like sometimes maybe it's not as relevant as you think. So I have like some weird dreams like all the time, or like some like really scary dreams. Some dreams where, oh my gosh, this had never happened to me before, and maybe it was a few years ago, and I feel like I could not move. I was in a dream and something was happening that was like frightening, and I just felt paralyzed. Has anyone had this experience? And I felt like I literally could not even like move my body, because I think maybe, and in hindsight, maybe it was a partial lucid dream where I know I was dreaming, but I like I couldn't do anything. So, but then I always have like random dreams, like ones where I feel like I can't run, or like my teeth are not there anymore. Um, I'm trying to think of what else. Some like a few random ones. I was like, I was pregnant. I was like, what the hell is this shit? I'm on birth control. Come on, people. Like, holy gosh. So, but what I do want to share with you is a few stories from my dream journal. I was rereading this, and I was cracking up. And so note to self, if you have like, this is like an old notepad where you can write on the front, but like you could tear it off like at the top. So it's like not binded on the side, like in the middle, right? So then I would like flip it over and write on the back, but then some I like wrote in ink, and then the other I wrote like with a pencil. So it's like hard to see because I wrote on both sides. So I'm like, what the shit? Okay, so this is from Wednesday, October 6th, 2010. So, thinking back on it, I was at school. I know that. So, this was my sophomore year. So, here we go. I was in a hotel and it felt like I'd been there before. It was a nice room, but it was tiny. All of my belongings were in there too. I was at the front desk and the woman asked if I wanted to change my room. I was a little confused. I said no, all my things are in the room. So I went back into the room and I felt like someone was watching me, almost as if there was someone in the room with me. Then I went back down to the lobby. The woman had said that in the past, a ghost was known to be in the room that I was staying in. And then it clicked because that's why it felt like as if I was being watched. The woman said it was an older woman ghost that would be floating around in an old antique gown. Like, was I like watching something the night before? I mean, given that it's October, it's very well could be true, maybe something Halloween related. I do love Halloween. So then I have here my dream skipped to a next scene. So now I'm like flipping over the page where I was in a shopping center, but I was in my bra and underwear. And that was the end of the dream. Like, so random, right? Why am I always like some of these dreams? I feel like, why am I not wearing any clothes? What's happening? Okay, this one was actually fine. This was a quick one. Tuesday, October 12th, same year, 2010. This is kind of hard to read because it's in pencil, so bear with me. We thought my friend Pushan turned into an animal. Now I'm trying to recall who the hell was Pushan. When I say it out loud, it like sounds familiar, but I'm gonna have to ask like one of my college friends. He was in this wooden box. I definitely thought he changed, but then Haley is like, no, he's fine. You can't see him, which I don't know if that really makes sense. Once I went, oh, okay. Once I went on my, okay, I got it. Sorry, guys. So that I had gone on my tippy toes, I saw his face and he was human. So he wasn't an animal. He was still human. He was hanging out. Okay, where this other one was like kind of scary. Okay, are you ready? So now, see, this is good. So now this is literally the next day, Wednesday, October 13th. I was help investigating with this guy that was supposed to be a crime scene investigator. I had to clip 2 strands of the person's hair. We were walking around outside all of these different places. The one time my partner wasn't there, I ran into these guys with guns who wanted the strands of hair. I thought I had them, but I didn't. I have to turn the page. But the bad guys demanded it or they were going to kill me. See, these are the scary dreams I have. At one point, the guy put the gun to my cheek. I felt all this pressure like it was going to fire. I was so scared. When I got a chance, I took one of the guns and ran. I was running. As I was running, I saw a parade coming up and I had to weave my way through. I finally got back to the place where my friends or team was. Maybe I was mentioning tennis because you guys know I played tennis at school. But it was strange. It was like I had a dream in a dream. So this must have been like, I don't know. I feel like, honestly, too, if I'm writing it down with like that much detail, like all these dreams must have been like so vivid, right? And then let me just tell you real quick about the dream I had what month are we in? August? Okay. So this was from May 2020. Dun, da, da, da. And this was like so vivid. It was crazy. So, and I think it was just because of the pandemic. And while I feel like sometimes maybe we don't always feel anxiety right away, or, you know, maybe even a different way that we don't really realize. So here we go. So something bad was taking over the world. Oh, I wonder what that could be. I don't know, maybe COVID-19. And targeting me and my family and friends and people around us. So this one I actually just wrote in my phone. Um, and homes and condos falling down. I even today, I still remember certain clips of it and like what it looked like. So I don't know if anyone else like can remember like that specific or like that far back. So our house and our row homes faced each other, but a step away, Caitlin and Carol. So Caitlin is my boyfriend's sister, and Carol is her friend. So they were like right across the street, and shit was going down. Yeah, so like obviously like country with all the row homes and stuff like that. It was literally like almost like I walked out my front door, for example, let's just say, and like two steps, then the other set of houses, say on the other street, is like right there. But we could like hop back and forth. It was like really strange. So, and then so this kind of like jumped a little bit, but our house partially looked like my parents caught on fire. Oh, okay. Like my parents' house caught on fire, and parents were there, and Lydia and Moo, oh, our cats, grabbed. They were there, my parents, and then I grabbed my phone and grabbed Moo, and someone else, it was either Matt or my brother Scott, grabbed Lydia, and I went to get the cat carriers. Um, and then it jumped a scene, so now I was like some like carnival or like some sort of event, and like all these explosions were happening, and I told someone what was happening, but I couldn't hear like what anyone was saying. And at that time I was with my parents, and yeah, what it seemed like a carnival or a fair, and we were trying to leave because I said we have to go now. Like my mom's just like nonchalantly like, yeah, okay, like all right. But like normally, if you've met my mom, like she's a worrier, and she's like, but like in a good way. Like she'll just, obviously she's a mom and worries about her kids and whatnot. So anyway, I was like trying to like quickly like say like, yo, we gotta go now. So, and it was weird because it was just me and my parents, and then an explosion went off, when this guy, there was some like stairway like that we were near, so he was coming down, the explosion went off, and he had all these things, oh wow, taped around his ankles and arms, and can see like all these red marks, but they were moving like something already got a hold of him. This kind of reminded me of, has anyone seen The Outsider, with Jason Bateman on HBO? It kind of reminded me of like that, like something else, like very like sciency and like supernatural is like happening, because these red marks that I'm explaining was kind of like um lighting up, if you will, like through his arm. So it was just like, what the hell? And let's see. And then they were moving. Okay, so I said that. Sorry, guys. Yeah, and my parents, they weren't listening. So, and she wanted to watch the news. And this is, I feel like, a running joke. Like, she loves, like, action news, 6 ABC. So it's funny that that kind of popped in my dream that she wanted to watch the news. And she's like, oh, I'm going to miss it. And I said, no, you can watch tomorrow. Like tomorrow morning. And then I grabbed both of their hands and tried to run back home, where I live here. And then I just like broke down and I started crying because they weren't listening. And I was just so upset and just like, oh my gosh, like their safety and everything. And they didn't understand like how dangerous the situation was. And yeah, so it felt so real in a way because of them being there. And I don't know, it was really strange. But yeah, that was like the latest one, that I did write down. Now I kind of want to like continue to write and write them down even more. But yeah, I want to hear about your dreams, like anything weird, especially with the pandemic. Like I know even, yeah, on the news they were saying, how we're going to have some crazy dreams just cuz this is life, right? I mean, this is what's happening. We have to go with it and just hope for the best, and but sometimes you can't control all of your thoughts, right? And that's when it kind of just fires off, I feel like, at night, and like subconsciously like thinking about these things. So and just a quick few more facts for you on why we dream. So what I was reading was that we're trying to process emotions, incorporate memories, help solve problems. So to me, I feel like that totally makes sense. Like I even have memories still of like memories. I even have dreams still of my grandma, my mom's mom, who passed when I was 11. So, but I remember her as she was, right? Like I don't dream of her like even older. I mean, even older she'd be like a fucking skeleton. Um so yeah, it's kind of interesting like kind of remembering those that pass and them like popping up into your dream. And yeah, pretty crazy. And I always wonder like, well, how are they created? Like what's really happening? Like why isn't there enough research? Like I feel like you would think by now, by 2020, they should have some sort of like technology or something to suggest like, yo, plug this into your body like a chip or something, and then it's gonna like, I don't know, capture all your memories, and then you can plug it into your computer and then you can watch it. But wouldn't that be kind of cool? But yeah, the studies suggest that the dreams stem from imagination more than your perception. So there's still like so much more to discover in that aspect. But yeah, I mean, wouldn't it be cool to see someone else's dream? Like sometimes, we'll get up in the morning and I feel like nowadays I don't see Matt in the morning anymore because he actually goes into the office and I'm still at home. But, maybe on the weekend, whatever, I'm like, oh, I had the craziest dream, right? And we kind of exchange, but like, if you think about it, how cool would that be if like, yo, let me just like touch your brain. Or okay, when I mean touch your brain, I mean like, let me put my hand on your head, right? And you put your hand on my head and do one of those like, right? And like, and now I can see what's in your brain. Kind of like, oh my gosh, do you remember what was that show called? Alan Strange? Yeah, wasn't something interesting happening there? Like he was an alien. I honestly don't remember, but that's what came to mind right there. So, so that there you have it. So hope you enjoyed this episode and would love to hear some of your dreams or, even during this time still, with everything going on, especially even with the storm we just had. It's fucking crazy, and frightening. So, go to my website and go to the contact section. You can send me a note. Okay. And I'm just going to wrap it up here with some fun facts you can learn about me. So, for the longest time, I never got my hair highlighted or anything. And when I was a kid, it would just be naturally highlighted because I was outside 24/7 and playing sports outside, and I'd get these blonde highlights and it was wonderful. And then it's like you graduate college and you get a job and now you're inside all day and it's almost like you're forbidden to go outside. And then it's like, oh my gosh, is my hair getting darker? Some of these pictures of my hair is so dark. It's wild. So maybe I guess it's been like 4 years now. I'll off and on get the little balayage, and I love it because you still get that natural kind of look. I don't want these chunky highlights. If I want something chunky, I'm gonna go get some peanut butter, right? So I don't need that. And yeah, shout out to my girl Grace. She is in Newtown Square at Blush Salon. I think I just said Salon. Blush Salon. Hell yeah. She does a fabulous job. She is just awesome. Like, I feel like every time I go, she's getting a promotion. I was like, girlfriend, what's going on here? But yeah, she's just the best. She's so bubbly. You could check her out. Yeah, and then one update on my tattoo. I know I didn't mention anything last week, so I remember. Well, guys are probably like, "What's happening with your tattoo?" So yeah, I'm gonna get the skull candy. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Day of the Dead. And yeah, it's gonna be perfect. It's gonna be like right in time for Day of the Dead, the end of October. Honestly, I just love the tradition. I think just remembering those that passed and kind of celebrating that way. I'm like, why am I not like a percent Mexican and doing some celebration? Well, I figured I'm just gonna do it anyway. Yeah, because why not? You can adopt traditions, right, from other cultures. Why not? I'm American. I'm a pish posh and stuff. Um, but I am mostly Italian though, so there you have it. But anywho, I'm gonna wrap this up for you because we gotta keep this to a time. And don't forget to listen on the bigdanepodcast.com/podcast. Pick and choose your favorite platform there. And be sure to leave me a review so you can go to ratethispodcast.com/the Big Dane Podcast, of course. Because what else would it be? And, you can keep up to date with me on Facebook and Instagram. You have my contact information, the website there, as I mentioned. And if you want to see that turkey vulture, just kidding, it was some sort of vulture, you can check out my coffee account. So that coffee link is on my website with the little coffee cup icon. So I hope you enjoy, and let's catch up next week. Peace out.